Scott, are you okay? Okay. Yeah. Hi, Aileen. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Kareth.
How you doing?
Okay. Hot, let me tell you.
How bad is it where you are?
Well, I'm not that far from you. I'm in Cheviot Hills.
Okay.
But I don't have
You don't have AC?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, most of the older houses, I'm in an older house here, don't have it. It never got this hot.
Yeah.
It's really only a few days of the year, and we just sort of muddle through.
Yeah. It's good to see you. Did you get your hair cut? Randy, did you get your hair
Yeah.
cut?
I got my hair cut today, and I said cut it really short so I don't have to come back for 6 months.
Looks great. I like it.
A little too short, but I don't even care. Yeah, I really don't even, I don't do that. I don't go out that much. I don't do that much. So,
Yeah.
So I have to, I didn't even know. So we're going to continue this through September.
Yeah, but we're
And
just gonna do the beginning and the end of September because there's Slichot and Rosh Hashanah in the middle. So, yeah.
yeah. And then you'll decide if you're going to continue into October or
Yeah,
not.
as long as so right now it's like partially funded by people who come and partially funded by the synagogue, and as long as the synagogue is willing to help keep partially funding it, then I'll keep doing. I mean, obviously, like I don't, but it's to make sure that Amit gets paid. So, but yeah, as long as they're willing to do it, I want to keep doing it. So, because it's a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's fun, but it's also beautiful.
Thank you.
Today in my house, we could pretend we're in India. Hi, Ami.
Hi. Whose house is in India?
My house is so hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is so hot, isn't it? Wow. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ami.
What is it like 100? I'm here in South Pasadena. It's 106 or something here.
Wow.
Yeah, not in here, but out there it is. So we'll keep it. Keep a little cooler practice today, because it's already too hot out there.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Randy.
Hi.
And Aileen.
Hello.
Yeah, if you have some props, please gather them because we'll use them today.
Okay.
We'll do some practices to cool the body down. If you have a bolster, 2 bricks, any sort of bolster. Let's see. I'll show you what I have, which is. Yeah, it's like these ones that I'm sitting on. You can use like from your sofa too, like this one on the sofa, on my sofa. You can use like that kind of thing too, that's good too. If you have a chair, just have it close to you. We may use it later. Chair or a stool is fine, And belt, bolster, bricks, if you have bricks, and what else? Blankets, yeah, if you have a blanket too.
Amit, I just made you the co-host.
Okay, thank you, Kareth.
Yeah.
And you wanted to share something 3 times, right, Kareth?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
so I can start us off if you want. I mean, you can just get us settled and then I can start us off.
Yeah. I'll
Great.
figure that out. And I'm going to practice with you today too.
Great.
I need to cool my body down too. Little bit, it's way too hot. Okay. Shall we? Are we ready? Yeah? Okay. We're going to start in a reclining posture. Just if you have a bolster, then you can place it like I have it here. Let me see. Let me spotlight. Yeah. So you see, I've put two bolsters, one on top of the other, and I'm going to lie down there, that side. Just one sec. I'm just trying to put this on. Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to go into reclining posture, we're going to start in Shavasana actually, resting pose. So if you're using any props, then just sit about a couple of inches in front of your bolster and then lift your chest up as you lie back down, and you can release your tailbone, lengthen the tailbone so the low back lengthens, and tuck your shoulders under. Use your hands to lengthen the back of your neck and your head. You can place a blanket under your head and neck so that you get a little bit of elevation and the back of your neck lengthens. Once again, tuck your shoulders under and then just relax here. Release any actions first. And as your body begins to relax and settle down, connect with the faculty of your awareness and notice immediately what any sensations that you may feel. Maybe one shoulder blade is a little not as relaxed as the other. Maybe one side of the pelvis is a little heavier than the other. Just noticing, bringing your mind to the environment of your physical body and the spaces within. And using your awareness, suggest for your ankles to relax and your feet. Relax your knees and the muscles around the knees, the lower hamstrings, the back of the knees, the upper calf muscles. Relax your hips. Try to release both sides of the hips evenly down. You may have to adjust physically. And also relax the muscles around the hip joint, including the glutes, the upper hamstrings, the front of the pelvis, thighs. Soften your abdomen And as your abdomen softens, let the navel relax into your spine. And allow the low back to relax as well. Release your shoulders down. You can turn your palms up if they're not facing up. Let your palms turn and face up. And do a slight outer rotation of your upper arms to elevate and widen your chest. Relax your elbows to the floor. Relax your wrists. Relax the back of your neck. Let the chin drop slightly. Release your throat. The skin on your face, your forehead, cheeks, your jaw, tongue. Relax your ears, the sides of the neck and shoulders, and your scalp, the top, sides, and back of your head. And soften your eyes. Let them rest in the sockets. Now, once again, revisit your physical space, your physical environment with your awareness. And if you remember any areas that you noticed in the beginning that were maybe tight, choose one of them. And now connecting the body and the mind through the breath, inhale into that area, energize the area. With your inhalation, as you exhale, suggest for the area to relax. As you inhale, lengthen, create some length there. As you exhale, suggest to release any tightness and shortening. As you inhale, expand that area with your inhalation. Visualize it. As you exhale, suggest for it to let go of any holding there. Visualize a blue light as you inhale, take the light into that area. Exhale, suggest for it to heal. Release any pain that's held within. You can repeat that either in the same area or choose a different physical area and apply the action of relaxation on your inhalation, energizing, on the exhalation, relaxing. On your inhalation, lengthening. On your exhalation, releasing. On your inhalation, expanding. On your exhalation, letting go. Blue light into the area. On your inhalation, on your exhalation, suggest to heal. Now bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees go out to the side in Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. If you'd like, you can place bricks under your legs. You can always look at the screen if you need a visual reference. And with the bricks under your legs, your groins can relax more passively. If you don't have the bricks, then the groins, it's not as passive. So up to you. You can start by placing your hands on your thighs and using the weight of your hands and your arms to encourage the grinds to release and the knees to move towards the floor. And just stay there. Observe your breath as you stay here. Now, if your hands are on your legs, release your hands to the floor, palms facing up. And visualize your inhalation going across, massaging your entire spine from the base of your skull all the way to the sacrum. Energizing your spine. Exhale, relax your spine. Inhale, lengthen, create some length between the vertebrae as your chest expands and your tailbone drops. Exhale, release any contraction. Inhale, expand around the spine, expand the chest, your torso, your pelvis. On the inhale, on the exhale, let go of any holding. Inhale, visualize the blue light cooling the entire spine. Exhale, letting go and releasing any pain or heat. Repeat that, please, on your own. And you can use your hands to bring your knees towards each other. Lengthen your low back, tuck your tailbone, and then release your legs on the floor again, straight legs. And you can just rest here or up to you while Karit shares with us. Karit, whenever you're ready.
So I want to share a little teaching from Rebbe Nachman of Wrocław. And if you're lying down, this is a perfect way to receive this teaching. Rebbe Nachman talks about, it's a Yiddish word actually called the krechts. And it's a little bit difficult to translate into English. You've heard a krechts before in Jewish music, when you hear that little break of the voice that sounds like a cry. And when it's not done well, it sounds kind of whiny. When it is done well, it's really gives both the impression of a cry, the weight of the world, and just carrying the sadness of the world within it, which is something special that happens in Jewish music. And so Rabbi Nachman talks about this idea of the krechts, and I want for us to think about it almost as a sigh today. And I received this teaching from Rabbi Angela Bachdal, and so I wanted to share it with you because I found it very powerful. Rabbi Nachman talks about the power of this sigh that we have. And we know even through modern medicine that engaging in a sigh is really, really good for our bodies and can allow us to let go. So I'm gonna suggest to you now that you can take a breath in, even taking in some of what Amit shared with us and bringing attention to an area of the body. But this time, as you let it out, let's all take a big sigh together. So we can breathe in. Let's try that 2 more times. And when we let the breath go, you can let all the breath escape your body in that sigh until you're ready to take air into your body again. And one last sigh, letting whatever personal weight we might carry with us at this time escape our bodies with that sigh, letting any weight of the world that we carry with us at this time also escape our bodies with that sigh.
And the sigh here is an action of letting go, an action of releasing, an action of relaxation, which is what we did earlier. And as you've probably heard me mention before, the practice of yoga has 2 main aspects. One is the action part of it, the doing part, and the other is the letting go of, it could be toxins, it could be tightness, it could be emotional heaviness, it could be negative thoughts, it could be physical contraction, all of it. The action is there to access and reveal, bring these states of contraction or negativity to the surface. So the action is important, but the letting go part aspect of the practice is probably even more important, because that's where you release things that don't serve you on a physical, mental, emotional level, and create room for more space, for more positive energy. So the letting go part is very important, and also much more difficult for all of us. So the letting go part is just much more challenging, because we are attached to our old ways of being. Even if our physical body, for example, if we experience some pain somewhere, if it goes away, you may notice that you may look for it sometimes. Some of us even miss it sometimes. Where's it gone? Let me bend to the side and see where it is. Oh, you know, and we do that often. Or even thought patterns. Usually we have thought patterns that don't really serve us. We may have accumulated or picked them up when we were children, and sometimes they may not serve us now anymore. So how can you release that? How can you let that go? How can you sigh out your physical holding, your mental holding, as well as your emotional? How can you release it and let it go? Just sigh it out. And cleanse and make room for more positive states. That really is the essence of the practice of yoga. Try to understand what that means for you on a personal level. Okay, and then slowly coming out, roll over to your side and make your way up, please. Okay. So I don't know if all of you have bolsters. Let me see what you have there. Now, if you, we're going to go into reclining posture again. This time, this gets a little bit more into the legs. So let me show it to you from, the front. Hold on. Yeah, I think you can see me. Okay. So I have the bolsters behind me like this as I was lying down. I think you can see me. Let me see. Can you see me? Yeah. Okay. So you're either going to sit on your heels this way. Now, you need some height because we're going to go back. So if you don't have bolsters, then that's fine. Just place your hands like this behind you, lift your chest and release your head. Yeah, you can just stay here. But if you have some height, then you're going to go back like this, okay, and lie down like this. Now, that's with your feet together. If it's available for some of you, you can bring your knees together and take your feet apart. So if you notice, I think you can see my feet, they're as wide as the mat, right? And then you bring your hips down either to the brick, you can use a brick like this and sit there, or bring the hips down to the floor. I have the room to bring it to the floor, so I'm going to take it down. And if you notice, my feet are outside my hips and there's a gap. I can run my fingers through there's a space between the outer hips and the inner heels, okay? So if you have that, then take that. And then you can start by placing your hands behind you, lift your chest and tuck your tailbone, lengthen your low back. You can just stay here if you don't have props. If you have props, maybe you come down to your elbows and maybe you release your your torso and your head on the props like that. Once you're in it, bring your knees towards each other and lift your hips up slightly and tuck your tailbone forward to lengthen the low back and then release the hips. So whichever modification you're doing, have the hips moving either on your heels or on the floor. And relax, lengthen the front body, lengthen your chest away from your hips. And relax there. Now try to take your knees down and towards each other. And spread the tops of your feet. Your toes need to be pointing straight back with the little toes on the floor. I showed you a couple of options, so take what is appropriate for you. And here, if you are in this posture, you'll probably feel it in either the sides of your knees or your quadricep muscles, your thigh muscles, or the low back. Now you've applied the action to access the tightness. Now use your breath. Inhale into the area where you feel the tightness. And you can even sigh and let it go. Release that area. Do that a few times. You can either sigh or just on the exhale, relax wherever you feel the tightness. Keep the mind in the practice. Use the inhalation to energize wherever you feel the tightness or the pulling. As you exhale, so just relax. Inhale. Try to create some length in that area, because when the muscles tighten, they shorten. As you exhale, release. Inhale. Try to create some space in that area. As you exhale, let it go. Let go of any holding. Inhale, visualize a blue light going into the area. As you exhale, let go of any pain. Soften your throat. Soften the skin on your face. Soften your eyes. Okay, and then slowly make your way up. And release your legs. Okay, we're going to go into a supported bridge pose. So if you have a brick, just have it close to you. You can also put bolsters under. I have bricks, so I'm going to use bricks. We're just going to go into supported bridge pose, okay? And I think you can still see me, so if you need a visual reference, then you can just look at your screen. Okay, so bend your knees, feet on the floor, feet about hip distance apart, and heels in line with your hips. Take the heels out slightly and bring your toes in slightly, so your sacrum is protected. And then lift your hips up and place your bricks at the height that is appropriate for you. And try to place the props under your sacrum, not the low back or the mid back. It has to be at the lowest part of your spine, at the sacrum. And then you can roll. I like to hold the sides of the mat and roll my shoulders under and push down slightly on the elbows so the chest lifts towards the chin. This is not an active posture when you have the props. There is a little bit of action, but it's not as much as when you do it without the props. So you can relax into the props. There is a bit of action in the arms to straighten the elbows pushing down slightly on the floor. And if you're gripping the mat, you can push the mat with your wrist, the pinky side of your wrist, to help you with that action. And then relax it. Don't do it too much, just a little bit. And of course, your hips are supported. So the psoas muscle, which runs from the low back across the pelvis, inserts into the inner thigh bone, lengthens here, tuck the tailbone slightly, and relax your navel into your spine. Don't let the abdomen push up towards the ceiling. Recede it back towards your spine. And then soften your throat. Soften your eyes. Because when you're supported, you can relax the glutes. You don't have to really use them to keep the pelvis up. You can relax them. And then take your awareness to the front of the pelvis in line with the thigh bones. That's where the psoas muscle is. It's in there. It goes from the low back, it goes across the pelvis, inserts into the inner thigh bone. So try to visualize the psoas muscle in there on the right side. And inhale, energize the area, energize the psoas muscle, even if it's not specific, it's okay. Exhale, suggest for it to relax. Inhale, lengthen the psoas muscle. Exhale, release it. Inhale, create some space around the psoas muscle and within the psoas muscle. Exhale and let go of any holding. Inhale, visualize a blue light going in there, cooling the area. Exhale, let go of any heat or pain. Bring your awareness to the left side of the front of the pelvis where the psoas muscle is, and inhale, energize the area with your inhalation. Exhale, suggest to relax. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, expand. Exhale, let go of any tightness. Inhale, blue light cooling the area. Exhale, letting go of any heat or pain. Inhale to the front of the pelvis, both sides. Energize, exhale, relax. Inhale, create length. Exhale, release. Inhale, expand. Exhale, let go. Inhale, blue light cooling the area. Exhale, let go of any pain or heat. And then you can lift your hips up, move the bricks away, bring your hips to the floor, and roll over to your side, please. Make your way to standing. If you have a brick, then have it close to you. We're going into a forward fold with the legs apart, but I want you to have something so your head can rest. If your head doesn't reach the floor, then have something, a brick or something that will help you to rest your head on something. Okay. Let's see, let me put this here so I can see you guys. And then step your legs apart, about 3 feet apart at least, and pigeon toe your feet in. Stretch the soles of your feet. And before you do anything, relax the ankle joint, activate your thighs, and try to drop the outer edge of your feet on the floor. So lift your big toes up and ground the pinky toes as well as the outer heels. The outer ankle will stretch here as you do that. And the inner ankle will move away from the floor as you do that. Now keep your feet like that and relax your toes. Relax the big toes as well. Keep the legs as they are. Take your hands out to the side, palms facing down. Relax your shoulders and relax your hips. Relax the tailbone forward slightly and then straighten your legs. Now turn your palms up, look up, lift your head up. Then bring your hands to the floor in line with your shoulders. And once again, before you do anything, relax your legs, relax your hips, and lift your big toes up, push down on the big toe mound, and drop the pinky toes to the floor as well as the outer edges of your heels. Again, you'll feel there's a muscle from the ankle to the side of the heel. You'll feel that lengthening there. If that's tight for you, you may feel a little bit of, you'll feel it. Okay, and then release your toes. If you can, big toe, little toe on the floor, lift the other 3 toes up like we do sometimes in mountain pose. Activate your thighs and spin your inner grinds back. Lift your sit bones up. As your heels drop, lift the sit bones up, pushing down on your heels, pushing down on your feet, and using your thighs to help you to lift the sit bones and revolve the pelvis. As you do that, push down on your wrists and look forward. Look at the wall in front and try to bring your spine, the upper back to, actually the mid back to a more concave shape. Push down on your wrists, straight arms, concave spine, and straight legs, any amount. Now, if your legs are not straightening, that means your hamstrings are tight, so then maybe you go up. Don't take your hands to the floor. Put your hands on bricks or something that gives you some elevation to help you with that. Now, only if your legs are straight. If your legs are not straight, then just stay here, move towards straight legs and look forward and just stay in the half position, working here to open the legs. If your legs are more open and straight, then take your hands back so the back of your wrists are in line with the back of your heels. Once again, straighten your arms, look forward, concave spine, straight arms, straight legs. You can stay here. If you're more open, then inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, relax the hip joint, bend your elbows back, relax the hips to bring your chest towards the back, towards your legs, and bring your head to the floor. If it doesn't touch, please place a prop under your head so the head can relax. Once you're there, relax first. Then once again, do the same action. Lift your big toes up, drop the little toes and the outer heels. Then relax your toes, activate your thighs, and relax your thighs. Lengthen the spine slightly. Take the shoulder blades up your back. And now take a deep inhalation. And as you exhale, sigh and release any tightness. Do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, release. Take the navel in as you sigh. 1 more time. Exhale, navel in and release. Inhale, come to the half position, please. Everyone. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Bring your legs together. Release your hands. Okay. We are going to downward dog. We're going to use the edge of the wall here. And I think we did it last time. You're going to place your hands. Let me show it to you. Your hands this way, okay? So this will be against the wall like this. Will be this. If this is the wall, if this is the wall, your hands will be like this, okay? Thumb and index finger on the wall. Maybe I'll show it to you. Yeah, like this, okay? Thumb and index finger on the wall like this, okay? And take your brick with you. We're going to use the brick for support for the head. Let's see. Okay. So I have the brick with you. You don't need the mat. I like to have the mat, but you don't really need it. You can do it on the floor as well. So start by first taking the brick, you know, just maybe at a higher, taller height and under your chest. Then place your fingers at the edge of the wall and floor. The thumb and the index finger will touch, and the web of the fingers, the web there will be slightly away from the wall as you release your palms, the thumb side of your wrist, thumb side of your palms to the floor, as well as the pinky side. Hands shoulder width apart, and then make your way to downward dog. So bend your knees and pushing, look at your hands first, look at your thumbs. Relax the index finger side of your palms and even the knuckle, relax it towards the floor. Bend your elbows slightly, look forward, and then do an outer rotation of the upper arms and straighten your elbows. So your elbow eyes will face each other. Straighten your elbows and lift your sit bones up as high as you can. Push into the wall and lift the hips back and up. And then begin to straighten your legs. Lift your toes up, activate your thighs. And if you can, big toe, little toe on the floor, lift the other 3 toes up. Drop the heels, the outer heels, and lift your buttock bones up. Now release the head, keep everything as it is. Don't release the action in your arms or your legs. In fact, recharge that action. Just relax your head onto the brick. So it's lightly touching there. Hold the body with your actions. And with every exhalation, relax some area where you feel there's some tightness. I can feel it in my calf muscles. I can feel it in my shoulders and the neck, as well as in my low back. So holding the body with your actions. On your exhalations, relax and let go. Recharge your actions so the posture does not collapse. The body doesn't collapse in the posture. And continue to relax. Of course, it gets a little more challenging as you stay there longer. And walk your hands back towards your legs. And you can either, if you have bricks, you can use bricks to bring your, as you go into a forward fold. So bring your hips in line with your legs. Hands can be on your shins or wherever they reach. For me, I can go a little lower, so I'm going to take it lower. You can keep it at a height that's comfortable for you, okay? And then, like we did in the forward fold earlier, before you fold, lengthen your spine forward first. So look at the wall in front, lengthen the sternum, lift your sit bones up, bring your hips in line with your heels, and then on your exhalation, relax the navel back, relax your hip joint, and bring your head down. I'm using the bricks here, but you can just also hold your elbows behind your head, sorry, below your head, and just stay there. Once you get into the posture, bring to your awareness the area that you've accessed the tightness in. It's likely that it's going to be your hamstrings, the glutes, the back of the hips, the back of the legs, and also the back of your spine. So how can you relax those areas as you hold your body with your action? Let it go. And as you may experience, it's not that easy. To stay in a posture and then soften the body. But that is the practice. Relax your abdomen, relax your shoulders, relax your eyes. And inhale, come to the half position. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, bend your knees, come up. You can take your hands above your head to lengthen the spine and release. Okay. Now, let's see, how many of you have a chair? I mean, like a yoga chair. I know everyone's got a chair at home, I would guess, but like a yoga, this kind of chair where you can take your feet through the back. How many of you have that? Let me see if you do. Kavith has got it. What is that chair, Eileen? That's an interesting chair. Oh, like that, okay. Okay, so probably that won't work, and Debbie's also not really. Let's see. Okay, we won't do that because I don't think you have the chair. We'll do something else. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so let's have you lie down on your back, please. I think you can still see me, right? Because you may need some visual reference for this, okay? Okay. So bend your knees like you would in bridge pose. And keep the feet slightly apart, heels out slightly. Now straighten your left leg along the floor. I'm going to mirror you. So straighten the left leg on the floor, yeah? And have your elbows close to your torso, okay? Now you're going to lift your hips up like you lift in bridge, but in this case, your left leg is going to be straight and you're going to try to keep the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, try to move it towards the floor. So the important thing is here that the left leg is straight, the left knee is straight, so don't bend it like bridge, okay? But the action is like bridge, push down on your shoulders and lift your hips up. Keep the left leg straight. You can clasp your mat like this. If you need to look, you can take a look at what I'm doing. Lift your hips up like in bridge pose. Lift both your hips up. And keep the, if you can, place the left foot on the floor and stay there. Hips are off the floor, both hips off the floor. So the right foot has to press. You grip the sides of the mat, push down with your elbows, lift your hips up, and try to bring the chest towards your chin, like bridge, but this is slightly different. And stay there. Try to stay the whole time. If you can't stay, then come down and go back up if you're still up. And when you release, release with a sigh and come down. On the exhale. Release. Bend both your knees. Again, place your feet, tuck your tailbone and place the feet hip distance apart. Heels in line with the hips. We're going the other side. So keep your left knee bent, left foot on the floor. Straighten your right leg first, just relax it. So the right leg needs to be straight, foot in line with the hip. So don't let it go out. Bring your elbows towards the torso. Tuck your shoulder blades under and then grip the sides of your mat. You're going to use your elbows against the floor as well as the left foot on the floor to help you lift both your hips up. Lift both your hips up and try to place the top of the right foot on the floor while keeping the knee almost straight. It'll bend slightly, but go in the direction of straightening it. Make sure that the left knee doesn't move out to the left. It needs to move to the center a little bit so the hips are squared, and then stay there. And when you relax, release it with a sigh. Let it go. And let go. Relax. Relax your body there. Lie down in Shavasana. Just rest. Notice any sensation in your calf muscles, hamstrings, glutes. The last posture would have worked those areas. And just allowing them to relax. And Karith, whenever you're ready, if you'd like to share again.
So over these past few weeks of Elul, we've been talking about, and I've been sharing ideas of return, what we call teshuvah, and ideas of self-reflection. And we have a couple weeks left to stay in this space before we enter the new year. I came across a poem by Pat Schneider that I thought really reflects this idea of where we're headed in terms of our growth as we approach the new year, looking for ways to understand how we have walked the path of the year that we're leaving behind, and looking toward perhaps a different spiraling path, a path of return to our true selves in the new year. This is a poem by Pat Schneider called Instructions for the Journey. The self you leave behind is only a skin you have outgrown. Don't grieve for it. Look to the wet, raw, unfinished self, the one you are becoming. The world too sheds its skin, politicians, cataclysms, ordinary days. It's easy to lose this tenderly unfolding moment. Look for it as if it were the first green blade after a long winter. Listen for it as if it were the first clear tone in a place where dawn is heralded by bells. And if all that fails, wash your own dishes, rinse them, stand in your kitchen at your sink, let cold water run between your fingers, feel it. So that's the end of the poem, but I'm going to say, if all else fails, remember the sigh, remember the krechts, and come back to that as you walk this path of teshuvah, and just rest in that sigh whenever we feel ourselves walking toward a tight space in the world. And I'll invite you to do a couple more sighs right where you are.
And even in our physical practice, there's a constant refining that happens, or evolution that happens in our actions, the quality of our actions. And in order for the new, refined or more evolved actions to be present, the older actions need to transform in some way or the other in order for the new, more open body to exist. The older, tighter, contracted spaces have to release and transform in some way. And as I said before, sometimes, we are attached to the ways that, the, our bodies are, our actions are, our thoughts are, because we're used to them. Even if they don't, um, even if there's room for a more evolved or refined state of being, we get comfortable with what we're used to, So sometimes it's a little challenging to transform, moving from a place of being comfortable into a place of maybe more spaciousness, but it can be challenging. So watch and observe when that happens. Enjoy the process when it happens. That's part of this journey of evolution that we go through: physical, mental, emotional. Okay. Let's see. Roll over to your side, please. Let me see how many does anyone practice headstand here? Does anyone have a headstand practice? No, right? So then what you're going to do is just take your legs up the wall. Just sit.
Let's learn it.
Your what?
Time to start learning headstand.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And today I think because we're just doing a different thing. So let's just take the legs, take your legs up the wall. So sit sideways. So one side of your hip touches the wall, and then roll over, take your legs up, and try to bring your hips to the wall, the back of your hips to the wall, and torso and head in line with your hips. You can place your hands to the side like in Shavasana, shoulders tucked under, and join the inner necks of your big toes and the big toe mounds like you do in seated, this posture seated, and flex your feet so your toes come towards the floor, and push up with your big toe mounds and lengthen your inner heels up as well. Drag the back of your heels up on the wall, away from your calf muscles, and especially lengthen the inner side of your heels. So in the previous earlier posture, in the standing posture, we stretched from the outer ankle to the outer heel. Now I want you to stretch the inner heel away from the inner ankle to lengthen that muscle. And that will also lengthen the inner calf muscle. You can use your hands at your thighs to roll the inner groins towards the wall. Drop the tailbone. And you can push your femur bones towards the wall with your hands and stay there. Keep your feet flexed and relax your toes. And try to take your tailbone down and spread the sacrum as if you're pulling the left side of the sacrum away from the right side of the sacrum away from the left as it goes towards the wall. As the sacrum moves towards the wall, it's also spreading to the sides to open the sacrum there. And then take your navel in so the low back and the low ribs rest on the floor. And now just stay there. Relax your toes, relax your shoulders, but let your hands still gently push the femur bones, your thigh bones towards the wall. Stay there. Try to ground the inner calf muscles on the wall. The tailbone pushing towards the wall, and your inner grinds moving towards the wall. You have your hands to help you with the inner grinds. Navel into spine. And release. Bend your knees, please. Roll over to your side and make your way up. And once again, go into that downward dog that we went into earlier with the fingers, the thumb and the index finger touching the wall and the brick under your head. We did it earlier, the same downward dog. First, doing the actions to use the flow to help to lift your hips up, back and up, straighten the legs. Use your hands against the wall to push the back towards the wall behind you, and then head lightly just rest on the brick. Again, hold your body with your actions. And try to relax and let go of any areas where you feel the tightness. The action is important. Don't release the action. The action is what accesses the tightness. Without the action, there's no real release. So the action is important. Find the clarity, hold the action, and then suggest to relax the areas that are tight. And walk your hands back towards your feet. Look at the wall in front, extend your spine. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees, and come up. Okay. If you have some space against the wall, we're going to do half moon. We're going to do it against the wall. So if you have a brick, place the brick against the wall. I think you can still see me, right? So if you need a visual reference, you can look at the screen. Okay, and you're going to stand in front of the brick. So the brick is touching the wall. You're going to stand in front of the brick with your heels touching the wall. Sorry, with your heels touching the brick. And step your left leg apart, like you would when we go into standing postures. Step your left leg apart, so the right foot is in front of the brick. And take your hands out to the side. Exhale and point the right foot out. We're going into triangle on this side. Lengthen from your right hand. Exhale and go into triangle. Release the right hand on the brick. Wrap your left arm behind you and try to grab a hold of your right hip or your right thigh. And relax the left knee, bend it a bit. And using your left hand, pull the outer right hip or your thigh back. So there's an outer rotation of that leg. Move the right hip away from the wall. So you can place your thumb in between the wall and your hip to move the hip away. And then activate the back leg. Lift your chest up and take your left shoulder back as the right hip moves away from the wall and is doing an outer rotation there. Activate the left leg, take the left shoulder back and head to the wall. Stay there. Yeah, if you don't, you can do it in the center of the room as well without the wall, that's fine too. And then from here, continue to hold the right thigh or your hip with your left hand. Bend the right knee. Step your left leg forward so it's a little closer to the right leg. Take the brick about 1.5 feet in front, next to the wall. And you're going to lift the left leg up, lift it up, keep the right knee bent slightly, flex the left foot, lift it up. Now move the left heel away from the wall towards the center and begin to straighten the right leg. Do an outer rotation of the right thigh. And so the right knee is facing straight forward. Push down with your right wrist. And now keep the right leg as it is. Take the left knee to the wall. Straighten the left leg. Push down with the wrist. Take the left shoulder back. Bring your head in line with your spine. Take the head towards the wall. Left shoulder towards the wall. And then maybe take the left hand up. Stay there. Release your left hand, release the left leg towards the right, bend your knees and then come up. Okay, take the brick to the other side. We're going to the other side. And brick against the wall. If you're using it, stand in front of the brick with your heels touching the brick and step your right leg apart. Take your hands out to the side. Point your left toes out. Wrap the right arm behind you as you go in and hold the outer left hip with the left thigh. Lengthen from your left hand and go into triangle. Go into triangle. Notice as you go into triangle that the left hip will go towards the wall. I want you to bend the right knee slightly. Do an outer rotation. Use your right hand to pull the outer left hip back and move the left hip away from the wall and bring it towards the center so the hip is in line with your left heel. Then straighten the right leg. Don't let the hip go towards the wall. Lift your chest, push down on your wrist. Take the right shoulder back and bring your head towards the wall. Stay there. You'll feel at your right side of the low back, left side of your hamstring. Relax those areas. Relax the right glute. And going up into half moon, bend the left knee, step the right foot in, take the brick about 1.5 feet in front, and continue to hold the outer left hip and lift the right leg up. Flex the foot, lift it up in line with your hip. Now let the heel move away from the wall, the right heel. As you do that, straighten the left leg and bring the hip away from the wall. Point the knee straight. Push down on the left wrist, straighten your elbow, and take the right heel back without taking the left hip back towards the wall. And then take the right shoulder back, head back, and maybe you take your hand up. Stay there. Push down on the left wrist. Activate the left thigh to take the hip back. Lengthen and broaden the chest. And release. Release, come down and make your way up. Okay. Good. Let's see. Okay. We can come to child's pose, please. So make your way to child's pose. Just relax in child's pose. Take your hands in front in child's pose. Come up a little bit. Let's go into it together. So bring your torso up slightly and try to keep your hips on your heels. Spread the tops of your feet and lengthen your sternum forward. Lengthen the rib cage away from the abdomen. And keeping that length in your spine, relax the abdomen and slide your hands forward. Bring your chin to the floor first, if you can. If it doesn't reach, use a brick or a prop. And then release your forehead to the floor. Now push down with your hands and move your hips back and make them heavy on your heels. First, and stay there. Hold that action of your hips moving to your heels and stay there for a few breaths. The skin of your forehead moving down towards your nose. And now keep everything as it is. Don't let your hips become light. Keep them moving back towards your heels and bring your hands back. Palms facing up. Elbows on the floor. And here, letting go of your ankles and allowing the tops of your feet to relax into the floor. Notice the difference between one side and the other. Relax your knees. Allow your shin bones to descend towards the floor. Relax your hips. Sit bones towards your heels. Back of the legs towards your calf muscles. Relax your wrists. And just as there's a difference between the left and right leg and the hip joint, usually one side will be a little tighter than the other. In the same way, the upper body and the arms will also have a slight difference. Notice which elbow is heavier on the floor and which one is lighter. And try to release the lighter one a little bit more. Same with the shoulders. Relax the shoulders and release the lighter, tighter arm a little bit more. Relax your throat, face, and eyes, especially the throat. And here again, once again, take a deep inhalation and let go with a sigh. 2 more times, please. As you relax the holding, you make room for more space. Just relax there for a few moments. And as your forehead releases into the floor, skin moving towards your nose, also release any thoughts that are irrelevant to what you're doing right now. Let them descend into the earth and just drop away from your being. Any thoughts with any negative energy in a different time, in a different space, let it go. Just observe your breath. And even if it's not a physical sigh, some thoughts have to be released with an internal mental sigh. When you're ready, come up, please. Lift your torso up and come up. Okay. You can lie down. Lie back down in Shavasana, please. Rest in Shavasana. And in Shavasana, start by allowing your breath to relax. Observe your breath as it does that. Observe the position of your breath, the pace of your breath. Just the feeling of your breath as it moves in and out. And as your breath finds its way back to its natural state of relaxation, suggest with your mind and using your awareness, suggest with your mind for your throat to relax. It's a subtle action, subtle suggestion and release. Spread your awareness across your scalp, the top, sides, and back of your head. And suggest for your scalp, the skin on your scalp to relax. Spread your awareness across your forehead, eyebrow center, and your eyebrows, and let them go. Release the skin. Spread your awareness across the backs of your eyes from the inner corner to the outer corner. And suggest for your eyes to rest into their sockets. Awareness to the sides of your nose where the cheeks begin, and relax your cheeks. Release your jaw, your tongue to the lower palate, teeth apart slightly, lips touching lightly. Let go of your shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Release your spine from the base of your skull all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to your sacrum. Relax your hips, knees, and ankles. And rest your entire back body from the back of your heels, calf muscles, legs, hips, torso, shoulders, arms, neck, head. Release all of it into the earth. And then connect with the sensation of being held, supported, and embraced by the earth, by Mother Nature. And just stay there. And Kareth, whenever you're ready.
When we engage in Havdalah, all of our symbols that we have here, the flame, the wine, the spices, are meant to invoke all of our senses. And I think the sigh is such a wonderful way to do that. We can feel that through our bodies. When we breathe in, of course, we breathe in any aroma that's around us. Perhaps we're not tasting through the sigh, but we're certainly using that part of our body to breathe in through our mouth where we engage in taste. Just bringing awareness to the forefront. And so as we say goodbye to the week that we're leaving and enter the one that is coming, let's do so with a big sigh. Amavdil ben kodesh lechol chatoteinu yimchol. Zar'enu v'chaspenu yabekachol, ve'akol chayvim b'layla. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Just gonna grab the shofar that's on the other side of the computer so I can hear that call. And it really is like a big krechts, that kind of cry coming out of this horn calling to our souls. Shavua tov, everybody.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thank you, Shavua tov. Wow, that was nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you all hopefully next week, and then we have 2 weeks off for Slichot and Rosh Hashanah, and then we'll be back after. Actually, I think we're back in right before Yom Kippur. I think we come back right before Yom Kippur.
So we're on for next week?
Are we on?
We are. I think next are we on?
Oh, I thought.
Am I wrong about this?
Wait,
Hold on.
Let me check.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm messing all my dates up. No,
Yeah,
next week is Slichot. I got behind.
Yeah.
Next week is Slichot. Then we have Rosh Hashanah, and then we're back together on the 26th, which is just the day before Erev Yom Kippur.
Wow.
Okay.
Time flies.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks very much.
Thank
See
you very
soon.
much. See you tomorrow.
Thanks. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Some of those stretches were really good. The
Yeah.
tightness is here when the going back like
Yeah.
that was hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll open up. You're doing good. You're doing very
Thank you.
good.
Thank
It'll
you.
open up. Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Thank you. Karen.
Thanks,
That was
Gareth.
good.
I hardly get to hear someone singing when I'm in Shavasana. I'm usually doing it, so it's really nice. So thanks for that as well.
You're
And
very
thanks for the
welcome.
teaching.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye,
Thanks,
Randy.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.